Hey guys, what is up? Back in the shop with this Honda Foreman, and we got issues, of course, right? So I was waiting on the shift motor to come in for the electronic shift, and they have that tool that you can shift it with a foot shift, and I put that on there, and it was super difficult to shift it with this shift, adapter here that you put on the foot shift. Well, so I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, obviously the screw on the front case that, increases or decreases the tension of the clutch, maybe it is too tight. So I went to go unscrew it. And of course, my luck, the screw would not move at all. I was about to break the screw where it's the flathead part of it. So I almost snapped that off. And going on forums and reading of what other people's issues have been with the same issue, they say, oh, you got to take the front cover off. Well, I loosened it up and tried to get it to turn without taking it all the way off, and yeah, that didn't work either. So here we are with the front cover now off, and then all kind of parts start falling out everywhere, and I don't know how they go back together yet. So I'm gonna have to look that up and figure it all out. But like I said in the beginning of this build, I didn't rebuild this bottom end. I had nothing to do with it. It came to me as it was. It had already been redone by somebody else, and I knew I was gonna have to deal with something in the back of my mind. I just knew it. So here is what we're looking at right now. And basically everything here came falling out. I don't even know how it goes back together yet. I haven't really looked at it yet, but I have all the parts and pieces over here on the table. And yeah, so now I get to figure out, let's go over here to the table. Here are my parts that fell out everywhere. Okay. So we got a bearing, a little sleeve or something that must go in there. And then here's the little part that actually does the moving. That comes off of there, and then you have this piece. So that's what all fell out. Here's the other part of it. There's the screw right in the center. Sorry for the shakiness. Right here. And here is the outer part of the screw. And as you can see, I really messed that up. Trying to get it to come off. It'll focus. And anyway, so now I get to figure out how to do that. And, I've been trying to do this build with y'all, but it's been a super difficult one. I gotta say. I don't know. But anyway, so that's kind of where we're at with this Honda. I'll put the shift motor on it, and when I would go to shift with the electronic shift, it just didn't have enough oomph, I guess you'd say, to do it by itself. So here's the new one, and I'll show you the old one. So here's the parts for the new one. I had it on there. There's that little arm, goes here, and blah, blah, blah. These damn mosquitoes, man. Here in Louisiana, mosquitoes are just ridiculous. And it's winter time. It's ridiculous. It's like 80 degrees out here. Anyway, here's the old one. Right here. It was super jacked. I had to open it up. And then come to find all of the connections and the spring right here. It was just defunctated and not where it should have been. So this motor was shot. The guy that rebuilt this bike before me, or started rebuilding it, you would have thought that would have been something he'd have saw, but I guess he didn't get that far. So, anywho, now I get to rebuild the clutch on here, or just, you know, figure out how that all goes back together. And I will have to clean this all out, get all this gasket maker off of here. And, you know, like I said, once I figure out how it all goes back together, I will then put it back together the correct way, and after I get that screw out. So if any of you guys have ever had any issues so what he did was the screw was in too tight to begin with. He probably redid the clutching also. Those look pretty new. And so he probably put the case back on. The screw was way too tight, and he sucked it down anyway, and never, you know, checked the adjustment on it before, you know, doing all that. So for you guys with Hondas, I do them on all of them that I work on usually, but this is the first one I've ever had not be able to actually move that screw. So this is my first run-in with that. I'm sure others have dealt with it before. But, so I'm hoping once I get everything back together, new shift motor in there and everything, and once I get the screw out, it should be able to go. I'm going to readjust the valves one more time, check those, make sure everything's still good with the motor. It has been running fairly well after this rebuild. I've got the exhaust redone. It's back on the bike. As you can see, the back plastic's in it. Have a battery in it. There's the fix I did for where they unriveted it. I just used some JB Weld you know, exhaust stuff that I globbed on there and then smoothed out, let it dry, and then hit it with a heat gun to cure it. So that's now installed, and you know, it runs, but it doesn't run great because it's jetted for that muffler and there's no air box on it to give it any kind of resistance for sucking in some air. But like I said, I'm hoping, you know, once we get all this done, I hopefully won't run into any more issues, and things should, you know, start moving a little more smoothly. And next, I will have to order or strip a fan off of another bike, or order one, because the fan, of course, the cooling fan for the oil cooler does not work. Of course it wouldn't. So that's more money I have to dump into this bike for this dude. Taking from my profits here, my man. But anywho, because I told the guy a specific price to do all this, but I kind of incorporated a lot for parts and whatnot. And we're in at about, shit, 500. I think a little over $500 as of right now for just the parts that I've had to order. I was told when I got this bike, oh, it's all there, everything's good. You know, just throw it back together and be good to go. But no. Front end, you know, I mean, everything. Bearings, all that was bad. Bushing's bad. Took the lift off, you know. I mean, it's just one thing after another. And then I'm going to run into something, I guarantee you, with this freaking brake lever, because the reverse is hooked up to that, right? Well, this freaking lever, I don't know why. I mean, it's just jacked up, my man. That sucker's jacked. It's supposed to be all up in here. But something is not right, so I'm going to have to trace that, figure that out also, and possibly end up having to redo the back brakes also, which I hope I don't have to do, but it's looking like they are seized up, which is how they all are, right? Everybody with a Honda knows that's what happens. So, you know, I'm probably going to have to bust all that off to get this to come, you know, to loosen that up and get it all off. Probably change the pads while I'm in there, fix everything up, get the rear brakes working. And what I do is right here, between here and this, if you slide on a CVT clutch spring, I don't care where it's from, I don't care what it's off of, or a spring similar to that, it will put enough resistance against, or back pressure against, this arm to force the arm back to its non-braked position. So usually, and like I said, you don't have to build anything or do anything special to it. You just have to undo here, take this off, slide your spring in, and then, you know, this, put that back on and it'll come hit that spring. So I've seen that somewhere, but I've done that on quite a few bikes and they've never had any more issues with their rear brakes not working. So just a little tip, throw that out there for y'all with the Hondas. So, but anyway, that's the update on the Honda. For those of you who've been watching the Honda build, this 06 Foreman electric shift, I appreciate it. And if y'all could hit that like, subscribe button with the bell, hit that bell so you can get notifications on the next videos that I post. And share, please do. Please share with your friends or others with Hondas or others with bikes, period. Trying to grow the channel and pump out a lot more videos for you guys. It's just, like I said, in other ones, it's kind of difficult. I live out in the boonies, and the internet here is absolutely horrible. I cannot upload videos here. I have to go elsewhere to actually upload any videos, which is ridiculous. I know, trust me. But there's no other options for internet. Trust me, we have looked. But anywho, so when I get a chance, like I said, I'll upload more. More to come on this. Also more to come on the Ranger, which is sitting here. And I'm going to do a separate video for that part. But anyway, thanks guys. Y'all take it easy. Till next time.